There's Sandra. There you go. Okay, so
Oh.
apparently was having some technical difficulties trying to get us in here. So, how's everybody today? So, for those of you who are catching the replay, hashtag replay, let us know that you are catching the replay. We'd love to know who is coming in and joining us, even after we're no longer live. So, would love to be able to have you guys. And I didn't get my phone turned off. So, I apologize for being a little late. I was there was a scheduling issue that I forgot about. My son is taking a course, and he needed a ride, and so that was supposed to be planned. However, I committed my husband to something different, and he wasn't able to take him. So I'm like, okay, I have to coordinate all of this. I'm like, okay, so I'll just go on a little later. It's all good. It's all good.
Life happens.
It does.
Life just happens.
It just does, and we just kind of roll with it. And so thank you, Sandra, for joining again. And for anybody who would like to join us, I'm going to put the link in here. If you're catching this from somewhere else, then let me know and I will share the link again in the other parts of the StreamYard, of the stream through StreamYard. So how's your day been?
Kind of crazy, to be honest.
Great. Great. I'm glad. Because it really does help us get into the reality of things, right? So
yeah. Well, life is a business owner.
Yep.
And then family in the mix, and
yep.
Things happen.
And we have a couple of little kids that we've been looking after over the course of the summer. So I have my mom looks after the one sibling. I've been looking after the other sibling. And so today we coordinated everybody together, and my great nephew is there as well. So we went and did mini putt. I'm not sure if that's what it's called anywhere else in the world, but it's like a mini golf kind of thing. So for us, it's called mini putt. And so we decided that it's the second last day before they go back to school. So they come back again on Monday and then they're done. But there's some other things that they have committed to that we have to make sure that they get to be part of. So today was my husband was around. And so my mom, my husband, and I took the three kids out to go do that this afternoon. And that was still all within time. And then it was like, okay, so not a problem. Everything's good. And then so the one little sibling likes to be able to come and hang out at our place. And so then I said, oh, yeah, sure, you can come. And then I forgot about my son. And then I'm like, oh, crap. Now how am I going to do that? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to send a message to the speakers and say, hey, I'm not coming on until 5:30. And then, of course, I come on at 5:30 and I've got technical glitches that are just not working. And I'm like, okay, I can't get us to be on screen. I don't know how to be able to get this to happening. But it is part of life, and it is part of what it is that we have going on. And those are the things that I don't know about you, Sandra, but I hear from my clients all the time. I don't have time. Things get in the way of being able to look after myself or doing all the different things that I need to be doing. And life does get in the way, and we do stop ourselves, because once we put that roadblock in, we come to a complete stop. And I've been guilty of it. What about you?
Oh, of course.
Right? So
are you getting? Of course. But what we learn, right, is okay, go with the flow. So it's like when you realized, oh, I forgot, I have a kid to get to, whatever. And you could have gotten all upset and, something wrong with me. And I was like, no, you just dealt with it. Right. And when I see, oh, she can't be on right now. Okay, we adjust. I'm not going to get upset. In the past, I would have been so taken out by these kinds of things. So it's like we learn in life, you know what? How do I adjust? How do I shift? And like we were talking yesterday, it's mindfulness.
Yes.
It's mindfulness.
Yeah. and just being present, right? So because I had this delay, I peeled my potatoes, right? So it's like we had this delay, and so I'm still looking after the little guy's name is Nolan. So like I'm still keeping him occupied and doing the things while I'm peeling potatoes, while him and I are having a chat about all the things that are actually going to be going on and happening and that kind of thing. So that way, when we're done, we can still have dinner. And so gave my husband instructions on, okay, so if you do this, while I'm just around this time, then everything should still flow. We're going to be a little bit later, but it's not the end of the world. We will still survive from it's not the first time that we've had a later dinner, right? So we just kind of go with it. And so that kind of leads us into what it is that was going on today was movement, right? So today we got to be out and we got to move, like, even though it's not like the holes are obviously like we're in this small little bracket as opposed to like 18 holes of doing like a full golf session, but like we still walked, right? So we got to move around, we got to move our bodies. The kids were like bouncing between the different places. I obviously can't bounce so well with my leg, but I used to be able to bounce and stuff with the kids. And so next year that will be something different. So if we go out next year, then I'll be able to like bounce around and climb up on the different things and that I would normally do with the kids. But this year is kind of like, yeah, I will watch you guys bounce around. and I'm not going to move. Actually, possibly after Wednesday, I might be able to do all those things, right? So, because I have a session booked with Sandra on Wednesday. So before we even left yesterday, after we went offline, I booked a session with her. So that way there, it was in the books, in the calendar, because if it doesn't make it to the calendar, it does not happen. Right. So, and I know I'm not the only person who's out there. So who else is out there? Like, put your hands up, right? If it doesn't go into the calendar, it doesn't exist. It's like, oh yeah. But my son's trip was in the calendar. That was his ride to his course was in the calendar. So he's taking a weekend course and he's like, can you give me a ride this weekend? Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem, honey. Put it in the calendar. So I got it all in the calendar. But then, like I said, I overcommitted my husband. So that was the issue. It wasn't mine. I was still committed in the right spot. but yeah, so we just take it with where things are going. But movement, right? So that is something that is super important. And when I first broke my leg, I really struggled with not being able to do movement, right? So in the summertime, I become a bear. So for anybody who knows where I live in northeastern Ontario. It is like super snow. Like we have like snow the size of mountains, I'm sure, at different times of the winter season. And so by the time that winter comes along, I hibernate. I am a bear. I go into like my little cocoon and I go out to go and get whatever it is that I need to. And then I come right back in again. So like, I don't do a whole lot of outdoor stuff in the winter time. So when I broke my leg, that was a challenge because like I couldn't get outside and I couldn't get walking and being on crutches. So the first 6 weeks, 6 weeks on crutches, that was challenging. And so I did build my upper strength. So like that was really helpful. But then when I started being able to walk again, I stopped using the arms. So now over the winter, like over the fall, I'm going to have to get back into like doing something that's going to like re-strengthen my upper strength again. But just being able to do mini putt today was nice. Right. So what are some of the things for movement that you do?
Weight-bearing exercise is really important. And I just recently, I have a memory and clear thinking program. It's a group program. And we just did the section about movement recently and helping people understand that maintaining muscle mass is really important for maintaining brain function. It's really important for maintaining brain function. And so that's something I really focus on. So, I mean, I've been doing, movement and exercise and stuff like that for a long time. But in more recent times, I've been paying more attention to actually having more weight bearing, not just walking, not just things that don't require load on the body, but requiring that the muscles and the bones stay strong is actually really important. And it's something that gets missed a lot.
Mhm.
So a lot of people know, oh, it's good to get exercise. And so they think the walking is going to take care of all of it. And for some people, that's really helpful. But for more people to be aware of actually needing to do the weight bearing part. So whether that's weights in doing movement, or just carrying a bag of groceries, or carrying stuff on your back, or carrying children, that's also weight bearing. And doing things like that actually requires your bones and your muscles to hold up weight. And like when I go shopping, for example, like the farmer's market or whatever, sometimes I will purposely hold my bag of groceries out away from my body so that I'm requiring the muscles to be strong enough to be
really
able to
good.
hold all of that.
And that's simple, right? So like, because we have to go buy groceries, so like that's a simple strategy. I like that one.
And carrying stuff on my back instead of in a cart, for example, so that the demand is put on my body. So you've heard in a lot of contexts, if you use it, it's great. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes.
Use it or you lose it. Okay. Yeah. So that goes for muscle, bone, brain function, all sorts of different things. And so to help people see the benefit of not just movement, but weight bearing as part of that movement.
Well, and it's really interesting how quickly that our muscle mass actually dissipates, right? And I didn't realize to that extent. Like I've heard of it, but like I've never broken a bone. I've never had anything where I've been restricted in movement until this year. And so when my initial cast was on for 3 weeks, and when they took off that cast to be able to deal with and put on the second cast, one of the things that I noticed was that like how small that my calf had become in 3 weeks. And at that point, still, I wasn't allowed to be doing any weight bearing. I wasn't allowed to be doing anything like that. So like now I'm allowed to have weight bearing so long to the point where if it hurts, then I'm supposed to release. So now I can actually carry things on a flat surface. So like I can move things around like in my office, or I can move things around up downstairs, so I can carry it from room to room wherever it is that I need to. I can't do it on the stairs. I can't do it because then it requires too much weight on my one leg. But it's like all these different things, but I couldn't believe how quickly that happened. And I've never had upper body strength. And that's I've always said, oh yeah, I don't have upper body strength. Not a big deal. Like my lower body strength is like super strong. It's all good. And I can do lots of things. And so if I have to move something heavy, then I get down on the floor and I use my legs to push, that kind of thing. So, cause my lower body has always been stronger, but my upper body hasn't. And so when I broke my leg and had to use my upper body to be able to carry myself around in crutches, it was like, oh my gosh, I really have none. And so one of the things that I was reminded this week is being able to, like, I need to get back into doing something that allows me to be able to maintain the muscle, because the last 3 weeks I've been allowed to walk without my crutches. And so then it's like the last 3 weeks I haven't been using the muscles. I'm still carrying boxes and stuff, so I'm still carrying some stuff, but like being purposeful of making sure that my biceps are strong and my triceps are strong, because those are the things that I needed to use to carry myself around. And so I haven't been using those, like, other than carrying boxes and stuff. But it's just that simple little thing that we can incorporate into our day, something simple that we can find. So like, I like that. Like, I'm going to get groceries. Well, then I can carry them carry them with my arms extended and like moving them up and down and things like that. So that will actually help to be able to keep that part going.
And that will provide extra stimulation actually for your healing process for your leg. Because when you do this, you're changing the distribution of weight.
Yes. Which
is going to put different demands on your leg, your foot, your hip, all of that. So yeah, actually variety is really good.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we have here locally that and schedule wise with the kids having the kids around this summer, I haven't been able to do, but in in the fall, that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing is going into the water and doing aqua fitness. I haven't done aqua fitness in 10 plus years. And so I'm looking forward to that because I will really be able to get some aerobic activity going on in the water that is not going to cause the surgeon to say, "What are you doing?" over the next 4 weeks, because I'm still haven't been able to do physio, which means that I'm still limited as to what I'm allowed to do. And I don't want to re-injure, right? So like that's one of the other things too, when we get hurt or when we end up being sick, we always try to push ourselves, and it's important to push ourselves, but not to the point of setting ourselves back.
Yes.
Right.
Now I do have something else to suggest.
Okay.
So just focusing on, maintaining and taking care of brain function. Something I heard a long time ago, and I don't even remember who it was who said it, but this expert said that one of the best indicators of brain function is your ability to go from standing down to the floor and back up again. Okay. For my brain to be able to control that activity. So thinking about, there are a lot of older people who can't even dream of being able to do that.
Yeah.
And so that's an indication of compromised brain function.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to help protect your brain function, make a practice of getting yourself down on the floor and back up.
So like in my case, like I cannot like squat to come back up again. So like you'd mean just literally get down on the floor and come back up, or like in a single motion?
In your case, it's a little bit different because you've got, you're recovering from this injury. But if you can, still get yourself down on the floor and back up, whatever that takes. So it's like turning over, going to the side.
Which is something that I do. I do a lot of stuff down on the floor. So then I have to get myself back up again. So, but yeah, and one of the things is being able to squat down and come back up. That's going to be one of the things that's one of my goals, is to get back into that. That's one of the things that I've noticed is like being able to get down and squat. We've been doing some stuff outside and whatever. And so I'm like, okay, can somebody help me with this? Cause like, I'm going to have to like literally get down on all fours so that I can get myself back up again. Cause I can't just do that squatting position with my leg at this point.
Yeah. The leverage and, it's complicated. So yes, but yes, just thinking about, right, getting down on the floor to do all the stuff there in your office, for example. Yeah. So purposely, I make a point of getting down on the floor, even if I can do something without it. If I could lean over or squat down, right, without actually getting on the floor to do something, sometimes I just purposely get down on the floor anyway.
So, and one of the things that, like even just, so when we moved, one of the things that I did was like, in terms of that particular exercise, and not even knowing that was something that was like really helpful, is that I was down on the floor, washing the floor. Right. So like because I wanted to be able to get it scrubbed and whatever. So then like I'm down on the floor and I'm bum scooting because I can't be on my hands and feet. And so like I'm bum scooting across the floor trying to wash. And because I had everybody else like was doing the walls and things like that, because I couldn't get up and do all those things. So I had lots of help, which was amazing. But I was down on the floor and the one person said, well, we can help with that. And I'm like, no, I really want to be able to scrub some of the dirt that's down here. So and this is something I can do. I can actually down on the floor and I can bum scoot across and get these floors washed. And so so that was helpful, and not even knowing that was actually part of my brain function and helping with that as well. So that's actually kind of cool.
Yep.
So that's really interesting.
Well, I'm going to need to leave.
Okay.
So, but it was lovely again. Now, are you doing this again over the weekend?
Yes, I'm going to be here again tomorrow for sure. I'm going to be at 5. So that one there's going to be 5:00 Eastern, because I've got no complicated scheduling that I have to try and organize. And then, but on Sunday, I'm going to be a little bit earlier. So I'm thinking probably around 4:00 on Sunday. And so that's going to be my goal on Sunday, is to be a little sooner. But I am going to chat with the other speakers to see whether or not they would prefer it a little sooner, or and be able to kind of get on and closing things off from our summit. So, but
Well,
definitely
I'll be on
tomorrow.
if I can.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
talk to you soon.
Yep.
So I will continue for those of you who are still here. And so one of the things that, so I was going to ask Sandra what other things that she actually does for yoga and for movement. And so, so one of the things that I was going to talk about was yoga, right? So yoga is one of those movements, and those are things that actually help to increase that flexibility. So flexibility is like really important for us to be able to do as well. And the other part, and another thing that is also really good is we talked about chakra dance earlier this week. So being able to do that moving meditation, and so just again that free flowing movement and allowing us to be able to just move in terms of that. And being able to just find any little thing that allows us. So some people will actually do swimming, some people will do the walking. I really like the tips that that Sandra was providing. So that was really helpful, and it was great as well. And I'm looking forward to trying some of those techniques, because those are things that I wasn't aware of. And so, but yeah, and I didn't correlate the brain and the movement as well. So there's all these different things that we can actually do to be able to increase our movement. And so and being able to just do some simple tasks. And so something as simple as just standing there with our hands on the counter and just doing side leg raises, or being able to get from sitting to standing in a chair and without having to use the armrest to be able to get ourselves up. So there's lots of different movement things that that are really helpful. And so I know that the OT, so the orthopedic or occupational therapist that came in to see my mother-in-law just recently had given her some exercises of being able to keep that body strength happening and re-strengthening that our body, and not just taking for granted that we're just going to let things kind of slide, because we need to be able to keep moving. We need to be able to keep that happening. So love to be able to hear how you guys are moving, what kind of things is it that you're doing for movement, and how you've been able to keep that going. But the other part that I wanted to be able to touch base on was something that, so today's the theme is movement. And so Jessie George talks about 10 simple ways to move your body. And so in her 8-minute video, and she also has a download. So like, what are some of the things to do to keep moving even when you're busy? So moving when busy is extremely important. Movement allows us to be able to clear our heads and to have a stronger way of being able to see things. So I will be back on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. And because, like I said, there will be no scheduling issues that I'm going to have going on tomorrow. So I will be here tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then it'll either be 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So I will chat with all of you guys later, and have a fabulous day. Bye for now.